Well, hello everyone. Thanks for tuning in to my survival guide. Let's play on the 1.16.5 version of Minecraft. Today we are going to build a villager marketplace slash trading hall, and it's going to be jungle pier themed right here on the edge of our jungle and the water. And I've got some pillars in place, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, first up, just a quick word about the pending release of 1.17. And since this one isn't going to have, it's going to have new blocks and some new mobs, stuff like that, but not the big cave generation. So what we're going to do is when that comes out, we're going to keep playing in this world. And I'm just going to, anywhere I haven't built yet, I'm going to prune those chunks, and then we'll get the blocks underneath. And between now and when the second part of 1.17 releases, which will be the big deep caves, I'll be selective about where I build so we don't have to prune such a large chunk. Although I'm going to set up a nether transportation network anyway, so we really could go anywhere. So not really that big of a deal, but that's the plan. I'm just going to prune chunks in this world where I haven't built yet, and then we'll have all the new generation there. Okay, so fantastic. So as you can see, I've already put the pillars in for the pier. There's not going to be anything really too fancy about this build, so really what I'm going to concentrate on is towards the end of it when we get to populating it for the villager trading. Now the pieces we put in place leading up to this, of course, was in a previous episode when we did, I think you can kind of see it over there, there's a villager breeding system, there's a villager breeder set up in the treetops there in a treehouse in the jungle, and the new villagers drop down and they go to a transportation system that's underground, and it's definitely gonna lead them here, but really we could direct it anywhere we want. And then we're also going to not this episode, but probably next episode, capture a zombie, and maybe this episode, we'll see. We're going to capture a zombie and make it so that we can convert all these villagers that are going to go in this trading hall, and we're going to zombify them and then cure them, and we'll do that multiple times and get the cheapest trades possible. And I will show you a very easy way to zombify over and over again in a controlled way using just one zombie over and over again. Real easy to control the zombie and to control that interaction with the way I do it, and so that'll be kind of fun. So alright, so first off, I think I made these pillars one too high, but that's an easy fix. So what I want to do is just get the first plank. So I'm going to do the floor in mostly jungle, because that's where we are, in a jungle, so it's going to be jungle wood, and we'll mix in some other stuff for variations. I'll use full blocks all around the perimeter where you can see it from the sides and the front, and then on the interior blocks of the decking I will use slabs to make our wood stretch a little bit farther. But we're just going to go ahead and start with the first block here, and what I want it to do is I want the level of this deck to be the block right on top of this level right here. Okay, so we're going to go over we're going to leave 4 blanks from the post, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to place our first block right there. Okay, this is going to go back 8 blocks from here. So 1, 2. Alright, and this will come out straight this way. Alright, so that's the proper height there. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go ahead and go around and fill this in with blocks. Nothing too tricky about that, so I'll probably just do a portion of it in time-lapse and then jump right to the finished decking, because nothing tricky about what I'm going to do here. I'm just going to fill this all in with planks so that we have our footprint. So, okay, here we go. Alright, so we've got the whole, man, that's a lot of slabs. Okay, so that's a big deck. So we got the big deck down. Yeah, these were a little bit too high, so I'm going to go around and knock the rest of these down one. Okay, and now we're going to go ahead and put some spruce fencing in between these, connecting these posts. Okay, and then we're going to put a post on top of these, and we're going to put a lantern on top of each post. Okay, so let's plop some lanterns up here. Okie doke, so we got some lanterns at least around the front perimeter. Now we're going to start the footprint for the actual marketplace building that is going to house our villagers so we can trade. All right, I want to leave 4 from the edge, and we'll start with this guy. And we're just going to kind of do a footprint here that kind of mirrors the front of that, but you know, it doesn't have to be exact. Okay, so that'll be kind of like the shape of the face of the marketplace. Now we got to break out some spots for some stalls. So we got to leave, so these are where villagers are going to be, and we have to leave a space in between. We're not going to do them up the side, at least for now. Maybe we will later. Okay, so we'll worry about how deep this goes after we get the face done. So this is kind of face. Because of the mechanism that's going to keep them in place, we're only going to go 3 high on these. So we're going to build this up a little bit now. And we're using oak for this now, and then we're going to make it look a little better with by adding some spruce stairs, some buttons, some trapdoors, and the likes. Okie doke, so now we have a basic skeleton outline here. Next, I think I'm going to start on the roof, and I want the roof to be, you know, not so fancy. So it's going to be kind of, there's going to be a lot of peaks because there's a lot of faces, but it's going to be kind of a little shallow. Not quite a, it's even going to be more shallow, say, than a barn roof might be, because I want this to look like more like a, you know, this is a pier in the jungle. So this is kind of a tropical, you know, this isn't going to be medieval looking. There's an ocelot in the tree. Well, that's interesting. Hey, at least no creepers will climb up that tree. All right, so let's grab some spruce for the roof. Okay, so we're gonna start on the widest face here, which is this one right here. Okay, so it's gonna kind of start off like a normal roof would. All right, and now it's gonna kind of start going this way. All right, let's get it that far on the other side. All right, and then we'll have to do buttons or slabs down here so that nothing can spawn on these, but basically, this is our roof shape, right? So it kind of looks like a hut, if you will. And now we're gonna have a pop of color in here. So let me go grab some of those. I did some lime green concrete blocks. So we had to get to make lime green, we had to get some cactus and make green dye. And then we had to get some, what was it? Yeah, bone meal and make white dye. And you put those together and you get lime green dye. I think that's what it was. All right, so it's in concrete powder form. So instead of turning it all into concrete up front, we'll place all the blocks and just pour water over them, and then they'll turn to concrete. And that seems like the really the easiest way to do, because then I don't have to break them and then replace them. Okay, now you could the concrete powder blocks actually have a little more texture to them than once you turn them to concrete. So you could leave them concrete powder. And in this case, I don't think there's really anything that's gonna, you know, creepers maybe, and if it's the concrete powder, they will blow up easier than the concrete blocks. But I don't really see creepers being up here on the roof necessarily. I don't need that one there. That looks really cool. You know, I kind of like that texture. I think I'm going to not turn it into concrete. If I wanted to actually turn them into concrete, I would just go up to the top and pour water over them, and as soon as the water hits them, it'll turn them into concrete. But so the upside is they're stronger. So if you're building something like, you know, like this that was supposed to be a fortified defense or something, you'd want to do concrete for sure. But for this, where this is a visual component, really a cosmetic component, I really like that texture. So I'm going to leave that powder, and that's what we're going to do on this. All right, I'm going to go ahead and finish the rest of the pieces of the roof face, and I'll jump back in as soon as I'm done with that. Okay, so I got all the roofs started, and I really like that green, so now we're going to dress up the front a little bit. So what we're going to do is, we'll just pick a space to start here. We're going to do a spruce stair in the front there, and we're going to do jungle slabs. That'll kind of tie this building in with the floor. Now we're going to go ahead and towards the end here, I'll break some of these jungle planks out, or these jungle slabs out, and vary them up a little bit, but it will still be mostly jungle. So these jungle trapdoors are going to help marry this building into the bulk of what this wood is here. And then we're going to take, we'll figure out some placements for some lighting. Let's see, that's going to be too low. Where height allows, we'll do an oak fence there and a lantern on there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and decorate the face with that, and I shall be right back. Okay, so we got the face looking fairly decent here. I'm not sure I'm 100% satisfied, but I think that's a pretty cool look. Yeah, if I think of any other fine details that I can add, subtract, or embellish with, I will jump in and let you know. But for now, I think the next step is to go ahead and bring these roofs back so that we can complete the actual structure of the building here. So I'm going to just take these roofs. All I'm going to do is just continue the blocks back, and we'll have a complete roof, and then we'll be right back. Okay, so we got the roof completed all the way to the back, and I put the back of the structure on as well, and I started the rail that's going to connect to the rail system that we have from a previous episode, from the Villager Transportation System. So at any rate, let's go take a peek inside. So we got the back wall on. This area in here is going to have a lot of the single stalls. I think what I'm going to do is, with these front stalls, I think I'm going to make them bigger, so that, for instance, I could put a blacksmith in here and have his workstation, and then some magma block and some lava, and make it look like his actual workplace. So it might be 3 or 4 blocks wide. And then, we'll have a lot of librarians for all the trades, and those will be in single stalls, and they'll be lined up around here. But let's get this going now. So now we have the building in place. I think it looks pretty good. I think the look I was after was, I was trying to make this look like not a medieval build, but just kind of like a jungle hut style, but with a little more pizzazz. And I really like the green on there, and it really looks good with the soft curves of the roof there. All right, so having a look over here, so I started to put the rail in here. So what's going to happen is the villagers get transported from the transportation system over there, and they're going to get railed in here, and it'll drop them off right in their cube. Now I'm going to place a temporary block. I'm going to place a temporary block. Let's see, he needs to stand right there. So I'm going to place a temporary block there. This alone will keep him from being able to walk out here, but then his workstation will also be there. So the rail cart, bring him in here, it'll stop right there. Then I'll put a trapdoor right here, and then I can break the cart. I can break the rail cart, and then he'll be just freely standing in here, but he won't be able to get out that way because of that trapdoor, and he won't be able to get out this way because of the trapdoor I'm going to put here. So it's a nice, easy way of having him here and having the back open. Now the back will only be open temporarily. What we'll do after that, and this will be the next episode, we need to capture a zombie, is then we'll take a zombie in a cart, and we'll roll him right over here, and that cart will stop right here, and it'll zombify the villager, and then we'll send the zombie back to wherever our holding area is, and then we'll cure the villager, and we'll keep zombifying and curing him until we get the trades down to 1 emerald for everything. And that's what we're going to do with all of them. And so this is a pretty easy system. Now I have a tutorial actually in the tutorial section in my playlists about this zombie cure system that I use, and that's the same one I'm going to be putting in here. So, all right. So the last thing we have to do before we can get some guys in here is we have to just finish connecting this system up with the rail system over there. So we don't have a whole lot left to do. So I'm using polished blackstone bricks to lay the carts on, and then I'm using quartz bricks on the sides, and then with quartz slabs on top of those, and I'll explain how that all works. Okay, perfect. I'll explain how that works. So I think I'm out of slabs right now, so I have to go. Well, I've got a few more. Okay, so we'll put these on. Okay, so this is a non-spawnable area, so mobs cannot spawn on tracks, and they also cannot spawn on the bottom half of slabs. So no mobs will spawn regardless of light level on this whole track. Then I just have to go around and make sure no mobs can drop down from above anywhere. So I'll do that off camera after the episode. And let's see, how many rails we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We're probably going to want to put one more powered rail in here. And I've just been using redstone, a block of redstone here to power the rails. And then the rest are just regular rails. Most of these rails I got out of the mine shaft. And then I had to run over to the Badlands to collect enough gold to make the powered rails. All right, so this is what the support systems look like. So we've got some lighting under here. I did the polished basalt here because I think it kind of looks like a steel truss. And then we got the iron bars here with some lights hanging from them. And this is plenty of light to keep things from spawning underneath the track. And then we've got our dispenser over here. Okay, so if I remember correctly, and I suppose it's possible we could waste a villager by just going for it here, but I think we have it set up over there. So this is where from above in the treehouse, the villager breeder drops the villagers down here. They're set in this this little holding area. The water forces them over here. As long as there's a villager right here actually in the corner, this will work. Now, when I originally did the episode, I couldn't figure out why this wasn't working properly because the dropper and the dispenser look so much alike. I mistakenly grabbed a dropper, so I was hitting this button and a minecart was falling out, but it wasn't doing anything. So this has to be a dispenser. You fill it up with some minecarts. You've got a powered rail here. And when I push this button, what's going to happen is it's going to place a minecart here. It'll power that rail, and it'll collect one of these guys. And it's going to send it on its way. Now, he does take a little hit of damage right there, but nothing significant. And this should send him over there. So let's, yeah, he's cruising way ahead of me there. There he goes. So hopefully I've got the area set up correctly. I guess we'll find out in just a moment. Okay, so there he is. So we just want to push him the rest of the way in here. All right, he's in there. So I just got to grab a trapdoor. Do I have one on me? No, but I have some in these chests right over here. Okay, so we'll put a trapdoor there, and we can close that when we need to. Okay, so I got to put one here as well. Well, you know what? That's okay. If he wants to be in that one, I don't have a problem with that. There you go. Now he is, well, did I put a... Yeah, I do have a trapdoor there. Okay, so he's going to be in this one instead. That's fine. We'll leave the tracks here for the next guy. Okay, so this trapdoor does block him in, apparently, unless he can get out on the angle. So you got to do this on the angle. Now, eventually, this is going to be full blocks. This whole row is going to be full blocks once we've zombified and cured him over and over again. So now he's there. I guess it looks like it's getting dark out. We should go to sleep. Okay, so now we can play with our lectern and make this gentleman employed. Place the lectern right there. And quick charge 3. That's not a bad one. That's not what I'm after right now, though. So we'll just break it. And blast protection 2. You get the idea. We're just going to break this over and over again until we get what we want. So I think I will have a librarian right here. And I think what I'll do is I'll block him in back. I'll take this section out and give him this whole 3-block wide section. I'll put a bunch of bookcases back here, and we'll have we'll make this a countertop out here. So these instead of having these ones on the face of the building, single stalls, I'm going to make them bigger stalls so they have more room, and we can make them look a lot better. And we'll have the rows of single stalls on the inside. Those are more functional and with not much consideration for the visual aspect of it. But at any rate, so now all we do is as soon as we get the trade we want, then we go ahead and do an initial trade with them to lock that in. Then we bring over another villager and we just do the same thing, and we keep doing that until we have this thing completely full of trades that we really want. And now at some point, you can zombify him before you get the trade you want, and then cure him, and then your initial trade will be cheaper. Usually what I do, though, is I just kind of suck it up for the first trade, because the first trade I don't necessarily trade. For instance, if this guy gives me mending, the first trade I'll probably do the other trade, the paper trade or whatever there else is, because it's nice and cheap, just to lock him in. Then I'll zombify him 4 or 5 times until I get that mending book down from whatever the cost is down to 1 emerald, and then once everything's real cheap, then you can level them up to master level, and oftentimes you'll get other really good trades. But okay, so let's have a look at this here. All right, I got the shaders on. I wanted to have a look at this. All right, that looks pretty cool. I think what I'm going to do is, there's no really good way right now for me to get from my base, which was over the top of that hill over there. You can kind of see it generating in there, and there's the backside of the nether portal. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this boardwalk theme, and I'm going to wrap it around this entire coast and make it go all the way back to that side of my base where I had intended on putting a big deck extension on the main base, at any rate, if you recall from the episode where I built that. And so I'll have it so you walk down some stairs coming this way, and then you have a boardwalk to come all the way around. Well, that's gonna be a lot of boardwalk, but I think it'll look really nice. And then if you walk down the stairs in the other direction, I think I'm gonna build a fishing shack off of that. But at any rate, here is the project. I think that looks really cool. I think it has a really good jungle tropical vibe to it. If you've ever been to a tropical location and there's some marketplaces, they some of them are much more run down looking than this, of course, but some of them are very nice as well, and I think this has a good look to it. I'm really happy with the way that came out, and I can't wait to get this thing completely filled up with villagers with great trades. And next time around, next episode is probably going to be capturing a zombie and setting up the process with which we can easily use one zombie over and over again to zombify all these guys and get really cheap trades. All right, guys, thanks a lot. I think that's going to do it for this time. Thank you so much. If you enjoyed the episode, I would greatly appreciate a like on the video. Also, please consider subscribing to my page. It would help me out a great deal and keep me in a position where I can keep making these fun videos. And hopefully you learned something or were entertained in some way. But until next time, I will see you later. Bye-bye.